From the moment he arrived at Carnton, just outside Franklin, Tennessee, the weight of history pressed down with unmistakable force. The house stood tall, quiet, and commanding, its white columns and wide porch facing the eastern horizon, as if still watching for the enemy. He walked slowly up the gravel path once trodden by soldiers, nurses, and survivors. Carnton was not just a home, it had become a witness. Built in 1826 by Randall McGavock, this plantation home turned battlefield hospital bore silent scars from the war it never asked to host. The grounds were peaceful now, birdsong replacing the rattle of musket fire, but as he passed beneath towering trees and trimmed hedges, the calm felt more like a respectful silence than a true peace. He wandered toward the rear of the house, where the back porch once held the lifeless bodies of four Confederate generals, dead within hours of the Battle of Franklin's violent end on November 30th, 1864. To the left, a formal garden spread out with neat rows and bursts of color. Originally tended by the McGavock family, it had been restored to reflect its antebellum roots. But during that desperate night, it had likely been trampled by wounded men and medics carrying stretchers, voices crying out into the smoke and blood of dusk. From the edge of the garden, he looked out toward the battlefield. It lay quiet now, manicured and softly rolling, but it was easy to imagine the chaos that once swept across this land. Thousands of Confederate soldiers charged over these very fields into the teeth of entrenched Union fire. More than 6,000 men fell in 5 hours, some dying just yards from the porch he had stood on moments earlier. He followed the path toward the family cemetery, where the McGavock Confederate Cemetery now holds nearly 1,500 Southern dead. Each grave is marked by a small stone, many without names, rows upon rows of markers lined up with military precision, some inscribed, others blank. The land here felt heavier, as if the air itself refused to forget. At one corner of the field, he spotted the old courthouse foundation. Set back from the porch, it once played a role in the local government, and during the war may have served as a makeshift post for coordination. Today it serves as another layer of context, a reminder that these grounds were not just domestic, they were strategic. Returning toward the house, he stopped beneath a tall magnolia and listened. No tour guide, no crowd, just the rustle of wind through summer leaves and the distant hum of traffic, modern life carrying on as if this place had not once been soaked in blood. Inside, the house reveals its deepest truths. Bloodstains remain on the wooden floors in the upstairs bedrooms where makeshift operating tables were set up. Doctors work by candlelight, amputating limbs to save lives. Carton served as the largest field hospital in the area that night. Families lived here, but war made no exception. He imagined the McGavocks opening their home without question, the dining room becoming triage, the hallways filled with groans and whispered prayers. And yet, despite the horror, there was order. Volunteers worked tirelessly, and the wounded, both young and old, Union and Confederate alike, clung to life inside these walls. Back outside, the house stood again in silence. A single flag fluttered in the breeze. The land no longer roared with conflict, but it spoke in its own way to those who paused long enough to hear. Carton is not a reenactment. It is not performance. It is memory, preserved in brick and bone, field and flower. And as he left the property, one last look toward the battlefield gave him pause. History wasn't confined to books or plaques. It was alive, etched into the very soil beneath his feet, and it would remain long after he was gone.